Go.
Okay, welcome to THE. I want to do a quick ministry thing for TailGate Ministries, and what the Lord's led me to share with y'all today. My wife and I have two biological boys that are 11 and 12 years old. We had decided years ago for me to go take care of us not having more kids, because eventually one day we were going to adopt. Because she wanted to raise a little girl, and our decision was that if we tried, that we may or may not get a little girl, but that there's a big need out there that she had always seen since she was a little kid. And anyway, about 2 years ago at this point, she come to me and asked me if I was still willing to go adopt a little girl with her out of the foster care system. And we got involved in that, and through prayer and everything, Heather started coming to me, and she says, as we got into the program, she says, "Honey, I keep hearing from God, children, not child." Well, I've known the Lord since I was 10 years old, and Heather met the Lord in 05, so I kind of says, well, let me talk to God. I've known Him longer. And so I spent a little time in prayer with the Lord of, are you really telling her children? I don't have the finances. All of the things that overwhelm you as a parent of thinking, gosh, I can add one more mouth, but can I add more? And through prayer, He just honestly gave me a peace. And He told me in no certain words, of course, not saying I heard voices, but He told me through confirmation, through others and everything, that if I would love whatever children He brought me as my own, that He would promise me to take care of their needs, to not be concerned about that. So what I want to share with you is something that I'll share with you vaguely, kind of the process that we went through. And 3 DHS workers will testify to you that God absolutely had His hand involved in us getting these particular 3 children. I got a little girl named Bethany, who's 6 years old, and her 2 little brothers, that is Dakota and Jamie. And Bethany and Dakota, they had been lost in the foster care system for nearly a year and a half. And so that's what one of the ladies said, that they would have been placed somewhere else had they not been lost. But right at the time for it to all match up, that we became certified, they found them and started their paperwork over, so that made them available at the exact same time that we were ready to go through the process and do everything. And so that was one of the things that they said, gosh, the good Lord had His hand in that. The other thing that happened, that 2 of the other ladies will testify to, one being a director and the other one being our caseworker, is DHS may miss stuff when they're trying to do something for you, but when they're doing something on their end to certify you and all this stuff, they don't miss anything. There were 3 of our papers, one of them being a background check, that if you've gone long enough into the process, they lapse and they have to redo them. Well, anytime those lapse, they're supposed to cut you off, and you got to basically completely restart. 3 directors completely missed that our background check and 2 other papers were out of whack as we started to meet these children. And then as we got into the visitation process right there, the caseworker comes to us and says, oh, by the way, we didn't know, but there's a baby involved as well. And he's 15 months old now, but at the time he was 10 months old, and they took him from the mother of all 3 of them. He had been born addicted to cocaine. Now, the good Lord absolutely wrapped His hand around Jamie, because he showed no signs of that hurting him. Of course, the doctors still tell us that, there could be developments later, but at 15 months old, the boy can point to his nose, say, you say, where's your nose, where's your eyes, so he's pretty bright. But the last thing I want to share with you, and really where I want to go with this is in your own personal lives, if you can look at this, kind of set this up first to explain to you where I'm going. We, as Christians and as people, we tend to want to give our problems to God, but we want to keep part of it. We'll say, Lord, fix this, but I'm going to keep working over here. And God doesn't want to do that. God because He knows that we're selfish, the way He built us with our bodies. If we have a little bit of a hand in it, well, then when it turns out right, we're going to take full credit for it. When we want God to do something for us, we've got to hand it to Him and let Him have it so that His glory can be seen.